सहनः भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। अहं प्रत्ययबीजं यत् अहं प्रत्ययवत्स्थितं नाहं प्रत्ययवन्यष्टं कथं कर्म प्ररोहति। दृष्टवच्चेत् प्ररोहः स्यात् नान्यकर्मा स इष्यते। तन्निरोधे कथं तत्स्यात् पृच्छामो वस्तदुच्यताम्। देहाद्यारम्भसामर्थ्यात् ज्ञानं सद्विषयं त्वयि अभिभूय फलं कुर्यात् कर्मान्ते ज्ञानमुद्भवेत्। आरब्धस्य फले ह्येते भोगो ज्ञानं च कर्मणः अविरोधस्तयोर्युक्तः वैधर्म्यं चेतरस्य तु। This is the Jivan Mukti, the liberation while the wise person is still alive, and the question is, would not karma come in the way of this mukti? Would not karma present situations, obstacles, give rise to result, give rise to new birth? Sanchita aneka karma sadbhavat. Because countless accumulated karma are there which are not yet exhausted, and therefore if those karma have to work themselves out, then even the wise person also will be subject to countless births. So as long as those sanchita karmas are there, not accounted for, not experienced, so long, even if the wisdom is there, How can he remain free from the series of birth and death? Because karma will give rise to his phalam, namely birth and death. Phala avasyam bhava niyamat. The Buddha said, aham pratyay bijam yat, aham pratyay avasyadam. What is karma? It is true that sanchita karmas are there. What is karma as in any way? Aham pratyay bijam yat, aham pratyaya ahankara. That notion that arises on account of identification, upadhi is ahankara, the sense of individuality, the sense of I and mine, that is the very cause of karma. There is kartritva, bhoktritva, that is the cause of karma. So now let us examine the nature of karma and see whether is karma in itself able to give rise to the outcome of birth and death or karma phala? Is it a rule that karma should necessarily give rise to karma phala? Answer is no. Naham pratyavanyushtam. That bijam is there. Ahankara is the bijam, the seed. And like any seed, that seed can be roasted even though it looks like seed. When it is roasted, it has no capacity to germinate into a sprout. So also even the sanchita karma, when roasted in the fire of knowledge, it loses the capacity of germinating into karma phala. Katham karma prarohati. The karma is compared to bijam, the seed. There is no rule that seed must necessarily give rise to sprout. Yes, seed has a potential of creating a sprout. But there is something that can obstruct the capacity of seed to give rise to sprout. That is the germinating capacity. There can be seed with germinating capacity. There can be seed without the germinating capacity. The germinating capacity can be destroyed, like with fire. Similarly also the sanchita karmas are there, or all karmas are there, but their capacity to give rise to karma phala, in the form of next birth, etc., can be obstructed when that capacity is destroyed by roasting the seed of karma in the fire of knowledge. Drishtavachet praho syat. You said all the karma, the seed has been roasted in the fire of knowledge. We see that in case of a wise person, he performs karma and they bear the result. When you perform the karma of eating, drinking, walking, talking, and those karmas produce the result that they are expected to produce. So, dushtavachet. So the karma that the wise person appears to be performing appear to give rise to the result, which means that even the fire of knowledge also has not destroyed the germinating capacity of this karma that the wise person is presently performing. Dushtavachet. Na anya karma saishyade. Then the result of the karma, called praroha, the sprout, anya karma. Now, the karma that the wise person is now performing is of a different category. It is true that karma that he performs, that there are karmas still in the wise person which are giving rise to the result of eating, drinking, but they are a different kind of karma compared to the sanchita karma. Anya karma, we say that they call prarabdha karma. And the prarabdha karma continues to give rise to result, which you see in case of the wise person. Tan nirode katham tatsyat. You said that the fire of knowledge destroys the germinating capacity of karma as such. So prarabdha karma also is karma. Should not the fire of knowledge also destroy the germinating capacity of prarabdha karma, because karma? Tan nirode katham tat syad. So prarabdha karma being karma is like a seed possessing the germinating capacity of giving us to karma phala, the sprout of karma phala. And when that capacity is destroyed in the fire of knowledge, katham tat syat, how can those karma, even prarabdha karma, how can they also give us result of eating, drinking, walking, talking? Vapruchamaha, that's what you asked. Taduchyatam, please explain. Then explains what is prarabdha karma. That prarabdha karma has special samarthya, special capacity, which protects the prarabdha karma from losing its germinating capacity. Even though prarabdha karma also is karma, like seed, but the fire of knowledge does not destroy the germinating capacity of prarabdha karma. It destroys the capacity of sanchita karma and agami karma, same as kriyamana karma, but not of anya karma. It's a karma of different category. So what is prarabdha karma? Dehadi arambha samarthya. The prarambha karma is samarthya. Dehadi arambha of creating, commencing this body. Sanchita karma doesn't that samarthya. Sanchita karma, accumulated karma are waiting. They have samarthya, but that samarthya, the ability to give rise to the next birth, is not manifest. Whereas part of that sanchita karma called prarabdha karma, that samarthya giving rise to the birth, next birth, is already active. Jnanam sadvishayam tvai abhibhuya phalam kuryat. That karma is more powerful than jnanam. The prarabdha karma, which has already commenced, because its capacity is not destroyed. Prarabdha karma is like the seed which has already started giving rise to the sprout in the form of this body and the happenings there. That means that the fire of knowledge is not destroyed, the germinating capacity of prarabdha karma. Meaning that prarabdha karma, as far as this capacity is concerned, it overpowers even the knowledge as though. Tvai sadvishayam jnanam abhibhuya. The knowledge of Brahman that you have in yourself, tat abhibhuya, overpowering the capacity of the knowledge to burn the karma. Phalam kurya. Therefore, prarabdha karma continues to give rise to his phalam. And that phala will be exhausted only when it is experienced karma ante. When the result of all prarabdha karma is experienced, jnanam udbhavet, then the jnanam, that unobstructed knowledge, which gives rise to moksha or the kaivalyam, videha kaivalyam, the kaivalyam, the moksha in which even the apparent obstruction of body is not there. So this body is looked upon as an obstacle to videha kaivalyam. Videha kaivalyam, the abidance in non-duality without the body. So as though the body is an obstacle to moksha, the prarabdha karma has produced that obstacle in the form of this body, and that will have to be exhausted before the body goes, and therefore that videha kaivalya has to wait until then. If prarabdha karma gives rise to the result because this body is there, Anarabdha karma, sanchita karma also will give rise to results, so new bodies will be there. What's the difference? To say that prarabdha karma has the capacity to give rise to its phalam, the sprout, and anarabdha karma, sanchita karma doesn't have, what is the difference? Why is it so? Because both are products of ignorance. Both are products of aham bhava, that is said, that aham bijam, that bija, the seed of ahankara is there in both the karmas. Both the karmas were performed in a state of ignorance with a sense of doership. So, sanchita karma also a result of the doership, kartrutva. Prarabdha karma is a part of sanchita karma, also the result of kartrutva. So, what's the difference? That prarabdha karma is powerful and sanchita karma is not. Ajnana karma avisheshat, both are equally the effect of ajnanam and ahankara. Ajnana nivritto. Therefore, when ignorance is dispelled, whatever it is that dispels the sanchita karma should also dispel the prarabdha karma. But if prarabdha is not dispelled, sanchita karma also should not be dispelled. The capacity. Itashanga visheshan. What is the difference between the prarabdha karma and sanchita karma? Arabdasya phaleyete bhogo jnanam cha karmana. Bhogo jnanam cha arabdasya karmana phale. Both bhoga, the experience that the wise person is having, and jnanam, the knowledge that the wise person is having. So now you find two things in the wise person. Jnanam, knowledge also is there, and phalam, bhoga, the experience of sukha dukkha also is there. So they coexist apparently. Why? How come they coexist? It is true that bhoga is a result of karma, which is product of ignorance, no doubt. But still, bhoga is the product of karma, which is the result, which is the karma that is also the cause of jnanam. That knowledge can take place only in a human body. Human body is the result of karma. And it is not that knowledge can take place in any human body. Antyam shariram, knowledge can take place only in a particular body where there is fitness for gaining that knowledge. And that capacity of knowledge also a result of karma. The punya karma or accumulated punya karma of many births results into this situation or conditions where knowledge takes place. So jnana, phalam, bhoga also a result of karma, and jnanam also a result of karma. The karma may be different, because in case of every human being, the prarabdha can give rise to bhoga. But in every human being, it doesn't give rise to jnanam. In case of this person, it has given rise to jnanam also. There are specific karma. So no doubt the karma which is the cause of jnanam are different from karma which is cause of bhoga. But they are karma. Therefore, therefore, bhoga and jnanam are compatible because both are result of karma. Avirodas tayo yuktaha. Therefore, tayo avirodaha. The lack of viroda, lack of incompatibility of jnana and bhoga, they are not incompatible because both are the result of karma. Vaidharmamcha itarasyatu, the other one, which is sanchita karma, also include the agami karma or kriyamana karma. Vaidharmyam, they are opposed. So they are opposed to bhoga. They have not yet given rise to bhoga. So they are of a different nature from the prarabdha karma. Therefore, jnanam and bhoga, in case a wise person, can coexist. But ignorance and jnanam cannot coexist. And therefore, the sanchita karma and the agami karma, anarabdha phalanam tu karmanam akartva atma tattva jnanodaya virodata virodadeva. As soon as knowledge arises, akarta aham. Therefore, the karma, so as soon as the knowledge arises, aham akarta, then all the karma perform with the notion of kartrutvam. The kartrutvam goes, the karta goes, and all the actions performed by him also go along with him. All the sanchita karma which are performed in the realm of ignorance, which gave rise to sense of kartrutvam, when ignorance goes away, the notion of kartrutva goes away, and therefore the karmas produced by the kartrutvam also go away. Therefore, sanchita karma have no standing at all. Their cause is gone. Agami karma or kriyamana karma, then also they are not performed because kartrutva is not there. Neva kinchit karomedi yukto manyeta tattvavit. The wise person, even when appearing to perform actions like eating, drinking, he is not performing them. So bhoga is there. In case of a wise person, the eating, drinking, walking, talking, bhoga is there. The result of the prarabdha karma. Normally, for an ignorant person, while we are experiencing the bhoga of eating, drinking, we continue to perform karma because it is kartrutva. So bhoga takes place. Along with that, bhoktaham. That being the case, since kartrutva, bhoktrutva is there in experiencing, therefore, even that bhoga of eating or drinking also create actions and produce no results. There is no rule that bhoga should necessarily produce the result. Bhoga is experiencing through the organs, perception, action. In that bhoga, the bhoktrutva is not there, then no new result is taking place. So for a wise person, no new results are accumulated because kartrutva is not there. For an ignorant person, when bhoga is going on, kartrutva also is there, and bhoktrutva is there. Therefore, new karma also gets performed. Well, that's not the case with the wise person. Therefore, the bhoga or experiences are created by prarabdha karma. So the bondage is not created because ignorance is not there. Kartrutva is not there. And therefore, simply bhoga does not mean bondage. Experience does not mean bondage. Experience does not mean that you are creating new effects. If that experience lacks bhoktrutva, then experience itself doesn't do anything. It is bhoktrutva that does. The kartrutva, bhoktrutva, they are the things that actually create bondage, not merely experience. So what we see in case of a wise person is bhoga, experience. So we conclude that just in my case, bhoga automatically creates karma and bondage. In his case, all they don't. So bhoga or experiencing is not the criterion for bondage. Bhoktrutva and kartrutva are the criterion for bondage. And the knowledge of the true nature of self erases the sense of kartrutva, bhoktrutva. Therefore, even the bhoga is going on like all other creatures. All creatures other than human beings have only bhoktrutva. They don't have kartrutva. They have bhoga. Bhoktrutva also may not be there. Therefore, their actions are not binding. So, creatures other than human beings are an example, demonstration of how bhoga or experience is not necessarily binding. Otherwise, from our standpoint, a lot of himsa is involved in all the animals. That's how the nature is. You cannot survive unless you take the life of another living being. But they don't have the papa because kartrutva is not there. Even bhoktrutva also is not there. Bhoga is there. Just as in dreamer, bhoga is there. They don't produce any result for this fellow. So also for creatures and human beings, bhoga is there. Bhoktrutva, I am experiencing. I don't think that is there. Kartrutva is not there. So Pashu, that is how, what is it? Pashvadibhishya avisheshat. Between wise person and Pashu, that Vishesha, the difference is not there because the Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva is not there. So Bhoga is not the criterion for bondage. The Bhoktrutva is the criterion of bondage which is gone in the wake of knowledge. So Prarabdha karma can create Bhoga, doesn't create bondage. Is ignorance and Kartru Bhoktrutva that create the bondage. Then continuing with the last verse, Nanu Jnaninopi ched bhogaha deharamba karma nibandhanasti tari tasya kadachit dehatmabhimana sambhavat tadudbhuta durita pratibandhavashat mokshanupattihi ched. For Jnani also, not bhoga. The bhoga deharamba karma nibandhana asti. Deharambhaga karma nibandhana. Deharambhaga karma. The karma responsible for the birth of this body. That is prarabdha karma. So bhoga, the experiences Jnani has, are a result of prarabdha karma. Tarhi tasya kadachit dehatma abhimana sambhavat. So jnanam means freedom from dehatma abhimanam or identification of the body. But what's the rule? That abhimanam will not arise again. Even after the knowledge has taken place. Just like past, it is possible that for a wise person also, the identification of the body can arise. So kartrutva, bhoktrutva can arise. Tadudbhuta, durita pratibandhavashat. And then whatever is done in the sense of kartrutva, bhoktrutva is binding karma. Good, bad or indifferent, binding karma. Durita means papa also can be done, punya papa. Mokshanupattihi, apupattihi. So wise person also performs action because kartrutva has arisen. Action will give rise to result. Karmana sukatasyaho satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam. So in short, satvik, rajas, tamas, karma will give rise to result. Mokshanupattihi, therefore, even wise person also cannot be liberated because she will wind up performing karma because of the habitual identification with the body. Is it said that's the question? Then the answer is given in the last verse. Dehatma jnanavaditi. Dehatma jnanavajnanam. Dehatma jnanabadhakam. Atmanyeva bhavedyasya sanechannapi muchyate tatas sarvamidam siddham prayogosma vidiritaihi. dehatma jnanabadakam jnanam. When the knowledge arises, dehatma jnanabadakam. Dehatma jnanam dehoham iti jnanam. So this knowledge or this notion that an ignorant person has, dehoham, badakam, what's the knowledge? Aham brahmasmi. That I am Brahman is a knowledge. That is badakam. That dispels, removes the notion that I am the body. That I am Brahman removes the notion that I am the body. But they cannot coexist. One is ignorance, one is knowledge, cannot coexist. So that is called abiding knowledge, aham brahmasmi. There can be abiding knowledge. This knowledge that I am Brahman can be abiding. So abiding dehatma jnanavajnanam. Right now, for an ignorant person, the knowledge I am the body, I am so and so is an abiding knowledge. You wake him up from the sleep and who are you? I am Swami so and so. That is insight. That shows that no thinking is required for that knowledge. That's called effortless knowledge, called abiding knowledge. So for the ignorant person, dehoham, brahmanoham, that knowledge is as spontaneous, call it, or habitual really. So knowledge that aham brahma becomes as spontaneous or effortless as this knowledge that ignorance dehoham. Then atmanyoho jasya, for one for whom that knowledge takes place, sanna ichchandapi muchyate. He gets liberated whether he wants it or not. Meaning that this abiding knowledge, aham brahmasmi, is the means of moksha, and therefore, once you have that knowledge, you are liberated. Not that whether you want it or not, liberation takes place. It's not that you want or do not want. When that knowledge, abiding knowledge, aham brahmasmi, you are liberated. Because liberation is your nature, therefore. It is not that you are liberated. It is not that you become Brahma. You always are Brahma and always liberated. Only ignorance and the products of ignorance, aham mama, these were the obstacles. And these obstacles were depriving you of the benefit of what you truly are. So moksha also is not attained. It is attainment of what is already attained. And therefore nobody can prevent you from that. If moksha is attained, then there can be some obstacle which can make it unattained. It's not attained. Therefore mukti is natural. Bondage is unnatural. Although living so long in the bondage, that bondage appears to be natural right now, but mukti is natural. All you have to do is to go back to your nature. Tatas sarvanam siddham prayogo asmabhi iritahi. Therefore, what is it? Iritaha. Asmabhi iritaha. Prayoga asmabhi iritaha. So this reasoning has been already provided by us. This sarvamyam siddham, as to how prarabdha karma, there is jivan mukti. Prarabdha karma does not, it continues to have its effect. And other karmas have no effect. All of these have been shown with reasoning. So Tika says, Yatha vivek vilakshanaśya laukikasya, an ignorant person, vivek vilakshanaśya, vivek vihinasya, really. So vivek vilakshanam is avivekam. Someone who is aviveki, What aviveka? The false notion. Taking things to be opposite of what it is. Not knowing the true nature of the self and taking the upadhi of the self is aviveka. So viveka vilakshanasya laukikasya, of a laukika, of an ignorant person who has aviveka, non-discrimination, dehata buddhi. Dehe manushyam iti atmajnanam nistandigdam upalabdham. So in ignorant person we find dehe manusyoham iti dehe atmajnanam. Dehe is atma. What is atma? Therefore the notion manusyoham is, he is no doubt asandigdam. That I am a human being is knowledge without any obstacle, sort of without any doubt. So this is an example. Dehoham, manusyoham is an example. Tatha, in a manner similar to that, Mukhyatmaneva dehadi ahankara pariyanta sakshini atmaneva yasya dehatma jnana badakam. Similar knowledge can take place in Aham Brahma, which is the true nature of Atma. Mukhyatmani. Dehatmani, Mukhyatmani. The Mukhyatma is taken to be Atma. Who is Mukhyatma? Dehadi Ahankara Paryanta Sakshini. Mukhyatma, the consciousness that is the witness or illuminator of everything, being Ahankara to Deha, the whole Upadhi, who is illuminator. Sakshi. Upadhi Sakshya. Therefore, an ignorant person is not able to distinguish between the Sakshya and Sakshya, the witness and what is witness, therefore he lumps them together. But even when he is lumping them together, the Atma happens to be only Sakshi. Even when the Drishya is taken and is combined with Druk or Druk Drishya, Aviveka is there, Drishya remains Drishya and Druk remains Druk, and Druk is Druk, Sakshi of Drishya, of everything being Ahankara to body. So Atmaneva Yasya Dehatma. So one who is in Aham Brahma, Aham Asmi Param Brahma iti Drushi Swarupoham Druk Swarupoham. I am Druk, Drashta, Sakshi, Brahma. What is the nature of that knowledge? That knowledge will dispel this notion, Dehoham. So right now, Dehoham, how effortless that knowledge is. So effortless the knowledge becomes Brahmaham. It can become because that's my nature, therefore. Nisandigdam jnanam bhaved. If that knowledge, free from all obstacles, sandeha, takes place. Saha yathokta jnana balat anartharashe apanitatvat. On the strength of this knowledge, Ahamasmi Param Brahma, by virtue of that knowledge, Anartharashe apanitatvat. First of all, ignorance goes away. Therefore, the notion Dehoham goes away. Therefore, Kartrutva Bhoktrutva go away. Therefore, Karmaphala goes away. So all samskara, vasanas go away. The whole anartha rashi, beginning of ignorance all the way up to the samskaras. Everything goes away in course of time. That is how the vasanaksha, manonasha means all of this nasha takes place in the wake of knowledge which is like fire. Muktim anichinnavi balad muchadeva. Mukti takes place. It's not that he wants mukti, mukti happens because that is his nature. So this is just kaimotik. Even if he doesn't want mukti, it happens. Nobody would not want. But this being the nature, the idea is that when you switch on the light, whether you like it or not, the bulb will glow. When you strike a match, the fire will be hot. You don't, even whether you want the light or not, when you switch on, light will take place. When you strike a match, it will burn whether you want it or not. Because that's the nature. So also, it's your nature that you are free, therefore that will take place. Not take place, it will become manifest. Not that fire is created, light is created, so also mukti is not created, it becomes manifest. तथा आविर्भूत आत्मतत्त्वज्ञस्य आत्मतत्त्वस्य पुनः देहाभिमान हेतु अभावात् आविर्भूत आत्मतत्त्वस्य, one for whom आत्मतत्त्व has become just evident. Atma-tattva is always self-evident. If we have to make it evident, we have to illuminate, then it may or may not happen. But Atma-tattva is always avirbhutam, always shining, always manifesting. Only ignorance, avarana, vikshepa, the obstacles, when they are removed, Atma-tattva shines in its own glory. Avirbhuta Atma-tattvasya punah deha abhimana hetu abhavat, then there is no reason to identify the body. When the knowledge, I am the self-shining consciousness, is there is no reason why I am the body should come back, because there is no reason for that. Meaning that ignorance, once dispelled, cannot stage a comeback, like darkness cannot come back when there is light. Deha abhimana hetu. Hetu is ignorance. Ignorance is the hetu, the cause of deha abhimanam, identification of the body. That hetu, ignorance is gone, therefore there is nothing else now that can bring about the identification of the body. Therefore, dehoham vritti cannot come back. Na mokshe koi pratibandha, that's the only pratibandha. Dehoham, that notion arising from the identification of the upadhi is pratibandha. In what? Brahmaham. When that pratibandha is gone, Brahmaham becomes spontaneous and natural, effortless. तथा च श्रुति ही इन keeping with the Shruti विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथि ही छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दुष्टे परावरे इति इत्याद्या. Where does it come from? Mundakopa. Which chapter? 2 to 8. Very good. Tasmin drushte paravare. Tasmin paravare drushte. Para and avara, the identification, identity of the para and avara, the jiva and paramatma is seen. That what was thought to be a para, avara or inferior or jiva atma is nothing but para or Brahman. So that avara no more remains. Vidyate hruday grantihi, the ahankara, mamakara, the knots of the heart, which are a product of ignorance, vidyate, all the knots get cut asunder. They get broken. Chidyante sarva samshayaha, all the doubts also get dispelled. Shiyante chasya, all the karmas also get exhausted, including sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, all karmas actually. Tasmin drushte paravare. When that paravara, that knowledge takes place, this happens anyway. So for the wise person, even the prarabdha karma bondage is not there. Only the body is there. The experience, bhoga is there. Bondage is not there. Tata smrutayopi bijani agni upadagdhani na rohanti yatha punah ज्ञानदग्धैस् तथा क्लेशै नात्मा सम्मज्यते पुनः इति. That you won't know. But here it says Bhishma is Mahabharata. That you can safely say Punah Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, Vana Parva in fact. But this one says here, Vana Parva 200, 110, you say Shanti Parva Moksha 211, 17. Yeah. So this is the dialogue between Bhishma Pitahama and Yudhishthira. And in fact, Bhishma Pitama is relating a dialogue of some Guru and Shishya. Bhishma Pitama is telling Yudhishthira about dialogue of some Guru and Shishya, in which it is said, Bijani Agni Upadagdhani. The seeds that are burnt, roasted in the fire, in any fire. Na rohanti atado dagdhani. Dagdhani is not burnt but roasted. Na rohanti atha punaha. They again do not sprout. Jnanadagdehi tatha kleshahi na atma sambadhyate punaha. So also klesha, atma is not there. The kleshas are all burnt. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, all of these are burned in the fire of knowledge because they are all product of ignorance. Atmana sambadhyate punah, formerly avidya, asmita, all of that was stuck to Atma because of identification. Once that is gone, then all of these have no relation with Atma, meaning that they are ineffective in creating any effect upon Atma. So there is no bondage again. Yatha paratamadiptam nashrayanti mrugadvijaha tadvad brahmavido doshaha nashrayante kadachana. Here it says Maitrayani Upanishad 6:18 anyway. That's what Mataji has found out. Maitrayani Upanishad 6:18. Yatha parvatam adiptam. Yatha adiptam parvatam. Just as a parvatam, a mountain, adiptam, which is burned from all the sides, asamanta adiptam, which is, which is under fire all along, is burning in all directions. Nashrayanti mrugadvijaha. Mruga means animals, dvijas means birds. Animals and birds no more now take refuge, no more now resort to this burning mountain. Tadvat brahmavido dosha nashrayante kadachana. Brahmajnani also is like a burning mountain. What is the fire? Fire of knowledge. Makes a wise person also like a mountain on fire. Just animals and birds no more resort to that burning or mountain on fire. So also all these doshas, avidya, asmita, kleshas, doshas, raga, nothing actually resort to a wise person. They cannot exist, they cannot coexist. Animals and birds cannot coexist as fire. So also all the dosha, ahankara, mamakara, etc. cannot coexist with the fire of knowledge. So many mantrausadak balairyadvad jiryate bhakshitam visham tadvat sarvani karmani jiryante jnaninaha kshanad. Sutta Samhita. So, mantra aushadhi balairyadvad, yadvad just as mantra aushadhi balaihi, by the power of mantra and aushadhi. Aushadhi means different jari buttis, so different herbs. There are many herbs are there which have special power. So mantra has special power and certain aushadhi also special power. Jiryate bhakshitam visham. If you consume poison, then there are aushadhis, medicines which can digest that poison, or there are mantras also which can remove that poison. This is known. Tadvat sarvani karmani jiryante jnaninaha kshanad. Similarly also, because of the fire of knowledge, So knowledge is like either aushadhi or mantra. So how, the point is that, how also the natural capacity of poison to kill a human being or the living being can be obstructed. Poison will kill. But when the capacity of poison of killing is obstructed by mantra or aushadhi, how poison becomes powerless. Like a seed becomes powerless to give rise to sprout. When it is roasted, even poison also becomes powerless to kill when its capacity is obstructed by mantra aushadhi. When fire's capacity also can be obstructed by mantra aushadhi, then it will not burn. That is not the example here. Example here is of the poison. Tadvat sarvani karmani jirante jnanina kshanat. So also karma lose their capacity of sprouting into the karma phala in the fire of knowledge. Iti. So therefore, the jnanam is like fire which has the capacity here anyway to burn all the karmas. So karmas cannot have any effect anymore. So they cannot bring about dehata buddhi also, they cannot bring about bondage anymore. That's the idea here. Because this is the karma and karma phala. The point was not karma phala, point was bondage. Point was, will you not again identify with the body, will not the karma, so will not identification take place, that's the point here. If the wise person continues to live in his body, will it not happen that like before, he may habitually identify the body and then again that bondage will come? No, the identification gone by knowledge cannot come back. That's the point here. Karma is already, this can be all quoted earlier. All the quotations of ineffectiveness of karma or doshas, so you can say identification is dosha. Dehata buddhi or habitual identity with the body, you can call it dosha, then it cannot come. The body is there but cannot create identification, something like that you have to say anyway. Iti. Jnanina karmana pratibandhabhavam upapada upasamharati tata iti adashlokena jnanina karmana pratibandhabhavam. How for the wise person the karma cannot create pratibandha or obstacle. Neither sanchita karma, agami karma and prarabdha karma also cannot create obstacle in terms of recreating bondage. The prarabdha karma continues to have that effect in terms of bhoga or experiences of the wise person. So because of prarabdha karma, the body continues. Will it not happen? That like before, when the body is there, will not identification take place? And will not the bondage come back again? Says no. That prarabdha karma can create bhoga, but not identification. Identification is caused by ignorance. When ignorance is gone, that identification cannot come back. Even though body is there, bhogas are also there. So this is how jnanina karmana pratibandha bhavam. So karma cannot be obstacle to the moksha for a wise person. Upapadidam. By upapatti, by reasoning it has been shown. Upasamharati is concluded. Tataha iti ardha shlokena. So the footnote says, and then one footnote was there again here. On the page 132 here, pravutta phalasya tu karmashayasya muktesho eva vegakshayad nivrittihi. I don't know whether you have that footnote or not. So why do you have that kind of book anyway? You don't look like this, from the day one. We don't have that. Why don't you have it? Why don't you get that book which has all these footnotes? So they didn't give me. You get it. Anyway, So here the footnote which says pravritta phalasya tu karmashayasya mukteshoho iva vekshayad nivritti. The Bhashya says in a given Brahma Sutra 3.332 mukteshoho iva. Ishu means an arrow. Mukteshu, an arrow that is released from the bow. Nivritti, that arrow will continue to have its movement as long as the momentum is there. Vegakshayat, only when the momentum is exhausted, that is when that arrow will stop, not until then. Similarly, also, pravrittasya tu karmashayasya. Similarly, also, that group of karma called pravritta or prarabdha also will continue to have its effect, momentum, until its momentum is exhausted. Therefore, the body will continue. So, example is mukta ishuhu, released arrow. Sometimes also the potter's wheel, which continues to rotate even after the potter has removed the vessel from there. After he served the purpose, then also it continues. So also here, Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Jate vijnane vidusha dehepato adhishrute. Jate vijnane vidusha dehepato avadhishrute. So, if jate vidusha, jate vijnane, even when the knowledge is born in case of wise person, dehepada avadhishrute. So, there is a avadhi for dehapata, falling of the body. That means that body continues to be there even after the knowledge. That's what the Shruti says. Tasya tadevacharam yavan vimokshe atha sampatsye. As long as the body is there, so long you have to wait. So avadhi shrute. That's the Vakya from Chandogya Upanishad, which says that wise person also has to wait until the body falls. So therefore the moksha has to wait until the fall of the body. Avadhi shrute. Jate vijnane, even though the knowledge is born, the obstacle in the form of the continuation of the body remains. And when that body falls also, when its own cause goes, then the jnanam becomes free from all obstacle. That's called the videhi kaivalyam. Then anubhavache jnanasya avarka ajnanamsa nivartakasya prarabdha vikshepasthiti anukula ajnanamsa nivartaka samarthya abhava siddhe. So jnanasya avaraka nashamsa nivartakasya. Avarta ajnanamsa nivartakasya. Ajnana has two amsha, avarana and vikshepa. So apparently the knowledge which like light dispels the darkness, avaranam. The vikshepa, better to say that knowledge destroys the jiva srishti. So avarana, vikshepa, jiva srishti both are destroyed. Avarana, ignorance, vikshepa, raga, dveshas are all gone in the wake of knowledge. But Ishvara Sushti, the avarana vikshepa, Ishvara Sushti goes, but vikshepa in terms of the creation doesn't go. Or this body also doesn't go. So jnanasya avaraka ajnanamsa nivartakasya. The jnana is that which removes the avaranamsa, or that aspect of veiling is removed by the knowledge. Prarabdha vikshepa sthiti anukula ajnanamsa nivartana samarthya abhava siddhe. That knowledge also does not remove vikshepa. What's the vikshepa? Prarabdha. So prarabdha vikshepa sthiti anukula ajnanamsa. Prarabdha is that the vikshepa aspect is there, that is not removed by the knowledge also. Therefore, bhogeneva prarabdha kshaya. Therefore, prarabdha will only come to an end by bhoga or experiencing. That's what I said in the and this is all well known to us, so that we are not going into great details about that. But so bhogasya avasya, on the page 132, first line is tad bhogasya avasyam bhavitvat, because prarabdha bhoga is an avasyam, unavoidable, and the reason is given in from Brahma Sutra Bhashya and the Ratnabhava Tika. So coming back to the Tika, Jnanina karmana pratimabhavam upapadina upasamharati. That Jnani is karmana pratimabhavam. That karma does not produce any pratibandha obstacle for a wise person. It does. Depends on what you mean by obstacle. If Videhi Kaivalyam is called moksha, then prarabdha karma does present an obstacle in the form of the body, and wise person also has to wait. But there is no obstacle Jivan Mukti. So it depends on what is the definition of moksha. For us, Jivan Mukti is moksha. Videhi Kaivalyam is not important to us. Brahmavid nacha Brahma. So Brahma na to Brahmavid. So one knower of Brahma, Brahmaiva Bhavati becomes Brahma. And therefore, but anyway, traditionally if you say that Videhi Kaivalyam is moksha, then prarabdha karma does give us an apparent obstacle, which we have already shown, whereas sanchita and agami karma cannot produce any obstacle. It has been all shown us by reasoning, upapatti. So sarvamidam siddham prayogosma viriritahi sarvamidamidi prarabdha karma avirodhitvoktihi. How prarabdha karma avirodhukti, avirodhitva. How jnanam also is not opposed to the prarabdha karma. Siddham, shrutyadi pramana siddham ityartha. Prayogopatti, thus you provide you all the reason as to how karma does not create an obstacle to moksha. Prarabdha karma also does not create an obstacle to moksha in the sense that prarabdha karma will exhaust itself anyway. And so moksha will take place. Whereas sanchita karma and agami karma, they cannot produce any obstacle. This we have shown, so karma cannot produce any obstacle to moksha, has been explained by us with all the reasoning. So prayoga, upatti, prayoga means reasoning, has been asmami iritaha, that reasoning also has been told by us. Idi chaturtham tattva jnana svabhava prakaranam. So this fourth chapter was called tattva jnana svabhava. It is the nature of tattva jnanam to give rise to moksha. And karma also cannot produce an obstacle to that. So that's how the svabhava, the nature of tattva jnana, is explained in the fourth chapter. Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.